So you want to start your half double crochets in evenly. This one's a little bit hard to find. Just kind of get it through there and you're good. Okay, there's our first one, and then 2, 3, 4, oh my goodness, y'all. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right, so now what you've got here is the full shape of your bunny ear. And what I like to do is I like to cinch it in at the bottom like that so that it kind of resembles the ear of a bunny a little bit more. So what we're going to do is I just take this part, this tail from the last single or half double crochet that we did. I cut the tail, and then what I'll do is kind of sew the 2 ears together. And I'll show you how I do that. So you just get your needle, and what you can do is to secure it a little bit more, go into the very last hole that you secured your single crochet in the very beginning. Remember when we did that surface crochet, you can go into that hole that you used because there's plenty of space there. And then I just take, I have cat fur everywhere. Take my needle and go through the bars on that single crochet that we made when we went back up our ear after having done the half double crochets. And then pull it tight like that, just like that, and then go back through that first hole, and that's going to create that little cinched ear at the bottom. There we go. And then you can, what you can do is you can tie a knot if you'd like. You can tie a knot, or what I like to do is I'll go into a stitch near where I came out of, and I will secure it that way, like that, and pull it. And then just like usually you do when you have a tail, you want to go ahead and pull it through your project through several different locations just to anchor it in there, keep it secured, and it's less likely to poke out at some point when you weave it through. All right, so I'm going to cut that. I'm going to go back to this little tail from when we joined our single crochet surface crochets. And I'm just gonna weave that one in as well. For ear number 2, we do the same exact thing. And see how you started down here on this side for this bunny ear? For the right one, you start on the right bottom side of the head of the bunny. Excuse me. For the left ear, because you want to have the same pattern, you're going to start at the top. Whereas on this one, you started at the bottom and came up to the top. This one, you're going to start at the top and go down to the bottom. It depends on, like I said before, it depends on how you want to shape your ears. It is totally up to you. Like, I could turn his ear totally sideways so that the pattern was facing towards me right now, and it would be off to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and add my second ear, and following the same method of going into the holes that are provided basically for us and out. And then when I go to my second crochet and third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, I go into the hole that I came out of and then go into the one next to it that I want to choose on the surface. And so I'm going to go ahead and get mine done, and then when we're done doing the ears, we're going to make a pom-pom, and we'll embellish his little face with his nose, mouth, and some eye decoration. And I wanted to show you how I decided I was going to make him look a little bit different on the second ear, and I wanted it on this side and flipped up a little bit. So that's what I mean by having artistic freedom. Make it look the way you want to look, and then you'll be happier with it, I think. So the embroidery for the eyes, I am not a good embroiderer, but I do the best I can in a simple way so that it just gives it a little bit more character. So you need to thread your tapestry needle with either some white yarn, a few pieces of white thread, or some embroidery thread put together. And what we do is I come in through the side right here because I want the white part to start in the corner, the top corner of his eye. And I leave a tail back here. I leave that tail. And I'm going to sew that in later, but this is just anchoring that in there. And then so you go as close as you can into that stitch next to the corner of his other side of his eye. And you go underneath those stitches. See, you go underneath those stitches and you pop it out on the other eye corner. And then kind of, you can manipulate this a little bit better once you've got both of your eyes done. And then it's kind of same concept, you just take your, hold on, I have to pull my tail through here. There we go. You take your needle and go in the top portion of his eye, right in here on the opposite side, and you just thread it through the back of his head. Kind of pull that down. So you can pull that down a little bit, and I can move it so that more of it shows, because I think I pulled a little bit too tight on that one. There, I fixed that. It was a little bit too tight in that first one. This one's a little bit loose. It's just the way that my eye is put into the actual fabric. That, and like I said before, I am not a very good embroiderer. So I just hide this tail from the white yarn inside the bunny. Just pull it through several different areas, just like we do with every other tail that we've got. Luckily with this one, being that we haven't sewn hardly anything, actually we haven't sewn anything. The only thing we had to really weave in was the ears. Clip that, and then I'm gonna go into over here and then secure this tail as well so that that one doesn't come out. I'm gonna use pink for the nose on this bunny. So I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna put my needle through there. Oh, see this, I'll fix this later. I might glue it down if I have to. All right, so there's my pink yarn that I'm gonna use. Now, if you're a good embroiderer, this is all gonna be just a piece of cake for you. And so now all I do is, I know what I can do later. I can anchor that down with the thread. What I do is just shape up a little nose. Doesn't have to be a little triangle unless you know how to make a embroidered triangle, in which case do that. And it will look cute either way. So I'm just gonna do several rows of this pink. Derpy little nose. It's not the best, but he's still cute. Okay, so for the eyes, I've used just a regular sewing needle, and I'm going to kind of start the same way as I did before, where I'm gonna go on the outside and bring it in to the corner. And you want a good amount of yarn, or thread, I'm sorry. You want a good amount of thread because we're actually gonna bring this through 2 eyes, and then we're going to pull it down to the, to create the mouth. So just make a few pieces, a few passes with your needle and your thread, and you're gonna create some little eyelashes here in this way. This is probably really painful for people that know how to embroider to watch me do this. So I'm gonna just continue with embroidering, trying to embroider his or her eyelashes. And then when I'm ready for the nose, I'll show you what I meant by bringing it down for the nose. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to now go to the making the little mouth piece that sticks out from under his nose. I'm done torturing him with the eyes. They just don't look right today, but that's okay. So I just like to make a little, like a really small line here to make it look like a mouth. And I just pop it in there, hide it in that pink for a couple of rows, and then that's about it. Kind of see how I just go under and through that pink area, and then you can kind of hide it. Move that around a little bit. I promise I will practice on my embroidery skills because they're not all that great. So there's the general idea of getting the facial embellishments done. You, like I said, you make this yours. This is your project. You do what makes you happy and what you want your project to look like. You can add blush, you can add real eyelashes. I've done that on several projects before. I did a couple of Elsa dolls and some mermaids where I used just fake eyelashes from the drugstore. I just went up to CVS and got some fake eyelashes and cut them into little sections and glued them down into the corners, and that was super cute. So you can do whatever you want. A lot of my projects, I will add blush to the cheeks, and I think I might add blush to this one to make her look more like a girl. I think I'm gonna do that in a minute. But there's, you know, basic eye and face embellishments. And now let's go ahead and move on to the last part, which is our pom-pom tail. You can make pom-poms in several different ways, but I just make it really simple. I take my yarn and I put it over 3 of my fingers and I wrap it a bunch of times, just however many times I feel like doing it. Just wrap it like that a good amount of times because it'll make it fluffy. And then I cut it. And then I have that on my finger. I cut another piece about 8 inches long. And then I wrap it around the loops like that. Let me get that there. And I tie it in a knot. Tie it down real tight. Tie in several knots is what I do. Like I said, there's so many different ways to make pom-poms. This one is just, I don't know, I think I found this years ago on the internet, and that's just how I use it. Now, if you're making like a really intricate pom-pom, definitely better ways of doing it than this. But this is going on the back of a bunny that we probably won't see very much anyway. So leave this tail because you want to use this tail to go ahead and attach it to the bunny, and then just clip through all of these loops right here. Clip through them with your scissors. And I'm gonna get that done and I'll be right back. All right, so I cut through all the loops. Now, looking at this, yes, it is a hot mess. It is not cute at all. So you just trim it around and around. Now it doesn't matter if this is, because it's flat, it's gonna go against the bunny. If you wanted a more dimensional pom-pom, just YouTube is full of exciting videos basically on anything you want to watch. This tends to be very messy, so do it over a trash can or somewhere where you don't mind cleaning up. And just trim it to whatever you want. That's good for now. I'm gonna go ahead and shake it out. Move all that out of the way. And then thread one of my tails. And then just figure out where you want it on your bunny's butt. I'm gonna go right here. Like that. And then take the other tail. Come on, work with me here. Oh. So there we go. Take the other tail and just kind of anchor it on another single crochet right next to it, like that. And so now you have the pom-pom is anchored there, and you can just tie it in a knot. Tie it in a couple knots if you want. And you can either hide those tails or you can just cut them to be part of your pom-pom. There you go. And you can trim it up when it's on the bunny, however you want. The more you mess with it, the more the yarn will start to separate and make it a little bit bushier and more realistic looking than just some, you know, strands of yarn. Okay, I think, let me get you up here. I think we're done. I know this video has been really long, and I hope that you were able to get your bunny made exactly how you wanted it. I hope that the instructions weren't too hard to learn, and I will continue to do these, and I'll make my presentations more streamlined so that it's not so much of your time being spent watching these videos. But I really hope you liked it. I think that this one is really cute. This one's gonna be a girl, so I think I'm gonna put blush on her. And here's her little tail. She's got fuzz all over her now. I'm gonna have to get it off with some tape. And then perfect little bunny shape. She's got that round belly, little tiny chest area that bunnies have up at the top, and then chubby little thighs that are just so cute. And as you can see, I changed up my pattern a little bit so that they're not exact. She's a little bit bigger than my first prototype, but I do that a lot. I don't make the same thing more than a couple of times, and sometimes even the second try doesn't look anything like the first try. All right, there is the No Sew Chonky Bunny. I hope you guys liked it. See you next week. Bye.